Welcome, Strategy Battle Gamers, to another GBHL YouTube channel video.
Yep.
Me said Hotcakes Gaming. Done a lot of content with that recently. You're here with your channel host, GBHL James, and today I'm joined by top table wargaming, absolute phenomenon.
Marvel have been called, superstar, just a bunch of that.
These guys, they know you as Cool Steve. Welcome, Cool Steve, to Speak Friendly Question. You've been in Speak Friendly Question before, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yep.
We were in Games Workshop, Nolton.
It was, yeah, that was the last one, yeah.
That was the last time that you were in Speak Friendly Question, and we also had an awesome battle report at the time as well, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
Really cool battle report. So you are joining me today for Speak Friendly Question. Unfortunately, Jamie can't be here. He's not very well today. He's woken up. He's a bit poorly. I think he was meant to be getting together with Jay Finnegan to film some content for his patrons. So if you are a patron to Jamie, make sure you go and check that out. And we got 32 questions this week. Now I actually had a mammoth amount of questions last time. I don't know if you caught it.
I did, yeah.
60 odd questions. It wasn't even my fault that the video was an hour and a half long. Seriously, just a huge number of questions. And that's what we want to see, guys, you guys supporting the show. So, as is tradition, first question, do you want me to take it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's from Dave
10 minutes to read it.
Now, David actually asked this question right at the very end of the last Speak Friendly Question, and when I saw that it was already an hour and a half long, I was like, there's absolutely no way that I'm going to get that in. So Dave, welcome. He's put, sorry I've been out of the loop for a while. I either don't have the questions or I forget, or both. Anyway, I'll make up for it this week with an extra long comment. Probably a good idea to split this up between the two of you. Well, I'll take this one for you, Steve, because I'll take it for the team. In scenarios like Lords of Battle to the Death, Domination and High Ground, can you use might to adjust your roll to see where you can deploy? For example, bumping a 3 to a 4 so you can deploy anywhere in your half of the board instead of within 12 inches of the centre line. Not that I believe, no, I don't think you can do that. I know that you can bump it in hold ground to see what side you come on from, but I've never heard anybody bumping a 1 to a 3 to a 4 to 6. So I presume that you can't.
No.
No.
Not that I know of.
I can't give you a technical answer for it because that's not how I roll.
I've never ever seen that.
I've never seen it, so I'm guessing that you can't. You put, I know that the Goblin Scribe's rule can't change your break point regardless of how many Goblin reinforcement he brings on, but what about for being reduced to 25%? Say your Goblin army was 60 models, break point 30 models, and reduced at 15 models, etc. You've suffered 45 casualties, but through the course of the game, the Goblin Scribe has brought on an additional 10 reinforcements, so you've still got 25 models on the table. Are you reduced, or do you have to have only 15 models on the table to be reduced? Do you know the answer to that? As a Goblin
I'm not 100%, because I've never used Goblin Scribe. A lot of people disagree. I'd rather have them from the get-go. But I think
you'd rather bring Moria Goblin Shamans.
Yeah. Power game, right? But I think it's what your number is from the get-go. You go for it, I think. So the ones that come on after the game started, you don't count them towards your number as a whole, I think.
Yeah, I believe that's the right answer. It works in the same kind of way as break, that you almost count the models that are going off the table rather than what is remaining on the table. Yeah. So you keep an eye on how many models are killed, but it is one of those unique situations. As far as I'm aware, that's the correct answer. What are you doing answers proper questions as well, by the way? That's not what Speak Friendly Question is all about. It's about silly questions. They're easy to answer. You put, on the topic of updating the game, changing the rules, new models and profiles, etc. I like Jamie's idea of an influence stat for heroes. Some heroes could lead more troops than others, like Gorbag could only lead up to, say, 12 warriors, whereas Sauron or the Witch King could lead up to 24. Yeah, I think that would be quite a good way to reward taking bigger heroes and to reflect how strong they are.
I remember Jamie mentioning that, and I think an idea popped into my head that could be, because you tend to be the better heroes, the stronger heroes have more might, so it could be something to do with how much might they have. Mm-hmm. So if they're a 3 might hero, they could possibly take an extra 6 in the warband, something like that, so they could take 18.
Yeah, could be
something like that, and that it differentiates between the how strong the hero is, rather than mess around with a lot of rules already. Just use that as a marker as to how big the warbands can be. So anything up to 2 might, you can take 12. And anything above that, you can take 18 or something like that.
I think that'd be a nice idea. It just rewards you for taking those bigger heroes, because sometimes you look at it and go, well, is it worth taking that bigger hero because I'm not going to get as many troops? But if that was equalled out by, well, somebody who costs less, you can only take less troops, then you're more likely to take some of those bigger guys, I think.
Yeah.
Something else I'd like is a class system for warriors, whereby some are classed as regular troops and others as elites. So I guess in a little bit more like 40k.
Yeah.
That kind of force organisation chart, I think they call it. Elites couldn't make up more than 1/3 of the warriors in factions warbands. So for example, in Ministerial, Citadel Guards and Guards of the Fountain Court would be classed as elites, and they couldn't make up more than 1/3 of the warriors in your Ministerial warbands. I think that could be one way of stopping sort of all elite builds.
Elites don't bother me that much. I think unless it's Reavers or something, and that's different because they're like an exception, I think. But I think if you end up filling your warbands out with elites, you're taking that hit on your numbers anyway. So you're already being sort of there's a negative to doing that.
I think it should be the other way around myself. I think that you should be rewarded for taking more basic troops rather than being penalised from taking whatever you want. So I do like the idea that there are sort of formations that encourage people to take fluffier heroes that aren't as optimised with basic troops. So let's say there might be a formation which is Theoden's Aered or something from the Pelennor, and when you take Theoden and 12 basic Riders of Rohan, there is some form of reward that you get for that. So, I don't know, +1 fight value on a charge, or +1 attack on a charge, or Theoden counts as a 12-inch banner for this force, or when you take that, Theoden gets extra might, will and fate, or whatever it might be, just something that rewards you for taking some more of those kind of basic troops and formations and things from the books and the movies. That could be quite a cool way of bringing it in.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I think they've kind of sort of done that in a way with Gondor, and you're getting the +1 fight value on your veterans, and I think if you're within a certain range, something like that for Theoden would be good as well. So getting a +1 fight value to your Warriors of Rohan, if they're within a certain area, that would be cool.
Yeah,
would make people bring Theoden more, because he's something like you have said it a lot of times before. You don't see him enough.
No,
and he's a cool mini, I think.
He is, yeah. Particularly, I love the Helm's Deep. The Helm's Deep version, the Helmetless one with the sort of, I love that one.
Yeah.
So if anybody wants to send me a metal one of those, I don't own it, so please do that.
So I've only got 5.
I'll take 4. So yeah, something like that I think I'd like to see. I like everybody else want models and profiles for Dane and Ironhill's dwarves. Could be coming. I'll just throw it out there. I'd also love a big update for the Lord of the Rings profiles. Beef up the profiles of iconic heroes whose profiles are out of date, like Theoden, Alessa, Lurtz, Gandalf the White, etc. And fix GW's overpowered inventions such as the named Wraiths, Shamans, Warg Marauders, Groblog, Watch of Karna, the Golden King, Corsair Reavers, Feral Urukai, Shays, Taskmasters, etc. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah. Everyone, isn't it?
I like the idea of some things being brought up to date. Me and Jamie have talked about a lot, rescaling fight values. You know, so that you've got like kind of the more noble men are fight 5, elves go to fight 6. A lot of the almost the standard hero rate becomes fight 7 rather than 6, and you work on the fight values can go up to 12.
Yeah,
that would work out quite well.
Do you think that we will see a redo of your Aragorn, for example, profile?
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe.
It's what most people ask for when this subject comes up.
Yeah.
So the powers that may be must be listening.
I should certainly hope so. Well, if they are listening, you know, Aragorn at fight 7 and not having to pay 75 points for Anduril would be a good way to fix that one. Yeah.
He should be on par with the big heroes.
Yeah.
The new Legolas, Thranduil, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So, and to finally finish off my already long post, here's a list for Jamie. Oh, so you're going to take this today. My friend Luke and I intend to go to the Warhammer World Doubles. So I think you'll be playing one other team unless you're not bought your ticket.
Unless you are the team going to Warhammer Doubles.
Because at the moment, I believe they've only sold 2 tickets for the doubles, which is a shame.
Timing, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to go. I'm sure it'd be a good event, but you know, it's just a month after Throne of Skulls. It's a week after Desolation Stockport and a week or two before the Mid Sussex Wargaming event. Just I just don't see.
I don't think they ever would, but I think maybe consulting the independent calendar prior to booking these in could be beneficial.
Yeah, I think it's tough for them because I don't think they get much choice, you know, like Baton and those guys. But I think working with communities is a good shout going forwards, I think. And you're planning to bring a nicely themed Defenders of Helm's Deep list to both events. So you're going to the Seven Stones doubles as well. Just wanted to hear your opinion of them. For Warhammer World, we plan on taking this. Your half is Theoden with heavy armour and shield, our leader. 7 Rohan warriors with shields, 3 outriders. Warband 2 is Gambling with Royal Standard of Rohan, 8 Rohan warriors with shields and 2 outriders. And Warband 3, Aragorn Strider with armour and bow. And Luke's half is Warband 1, Legolas with armour and elven cloak, 12 Galadriel warriors. Warband 2, Haldir, Defenders of Hell Deep, and 11 Galadriel warriors, 4 with bow, 1 with elf blade and shield, and 6 spears and shield. And Warband 3, Gimli, total 500 points. Sounds like fun.
It looks nice. Nice theme list. It's going to be a fun list to play.
Nice theme to that, isn't it?
Yeah, putting Aragorn in there, you're going to have fun with it, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm not the best person to ask for competitive lists anyway, as you probably know. I do very well.
I don't know, you brought some pretty competitive armies in the past.
Yeah.
Especially in more recent times. You know. We want everybody out there, they want to see Gondor again.
Gondor, they're coming back. They're back out of the box, on the shelf, ready to be sort of touched up and put back on the gaming board.
One of my projects for this year, I've got tons of Gondor down there that needs painting. So I want to get them. I think people like Gondor. I think doing some Gondor stuff.
They look cool on the board.
Some Gondor Hotgates gaming battle report sounds like a good idea. What do you reckon? Good shout. For 7 stones, your half will be Theoden, heavy armour and shield with 6 Rohan Royal Guards, 3 with throwing spears and 6 Rohan warriors with shields. Gambling with the Royal Standard Rohan with 7 warriors of Rohan with shields and 5 outriders. Eowyn in just her dress with sword. Again, sounds really nice.
Drop the dress.
Ste Crowe.
Diversion
Kids watching. Unbelievable. What would that special rule be? The enemy force is instantly paralysed, transfixed for a turn.
Drool at the mouth.
Well powerful. Luke's half is Legolas with armour and elven cloak, 11 Galadriel warriors, 4 with bow, 1 with elf blade and shield, and 6 with spear and shields. Warband 5. Haldir, Defender of Helm's Deep. That's cool. With 11 Galadriel warriors. Yeah, mate. I think that these are really fluffy, cool, fun lists, and hopefully you have a good amount of fun with them. So
I'd like to play using them lists. They're good lists.
Yeah,
I love the gambling rule with the banner. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, I would love to play with it rather than against it. I think I might be in a moral conflict playing against that.
That's cool though. It'll look awesome on the board.
It certainly would. So thank you very much for such a hearty contribution, Mr. Egan, and for all of your support on the Patreon, as always. Next up, we've got Philip Curran. I hope this isn't Jane's cousin, Philip. You see that?
Do you want me to read it? Yeah.
I can do it if you want. Do you want me to?
Yeah, you read it.
You read it, you answer.
Yeah, go on.
Cool. Okay, you guys have ruined me. It began with just the Mines of Moria box set, which I picked up second-hand on eBay, and a plan to cannibalise its contents for another game. Stumbling across your channel, however, like so many others, convinced me to do otherwise, and now not only am I painting everything up so that I can bring it along to club events, but I've also since bought a small force from almost all of the races, including a sizable model. This is a common problem.
A good problem to have.
It's called SBG-itis. Actually sounds like something you wouldn't want to get, doesn't it? Oh dear. I wonder what kind of disease that is.
I almost said something, but I won't.
No. I think I was along the same kind of line. Yeah, a very, very common problem. I think you've seen my shelves downstairs. You've got worse than that, haven't you?
Yeah, silly.
It's a bit crazy. Lightened wallet aside though, my question for both of you is, I would like to round out the goblins that I got in the Mines of Moria box. I have some wild wilds, and I'm going to add another cave troll to the force, but I'm still lacking in heroes. So what are your thoughts on the goblin named heroes Deberts, Druzag, Groblog and Ashrak? Thanks in advance for answering my question, it's a pleasure. And despite my moaning over my wallet, your channel is a shining example of the Hobbit community and wargaming in general, and I'll continue to look forward to all of your videos. So that's a lovely, lovely, lovely comment. Thank you very much, Philip. And I'm glad you're on board with the GBHL podcast. Okay, so
there's loads of stuff you can do with Moria.
Yeah, loads of things. Each of those heroes have got a very different role, hasn't it? So,
I've Druzag I've used. He's awesome.
Druzag's really good if you want to go more for that kind of beastie army.
Yeah, because you can get your monsters in there, and his spells, the things that you can do with the monsters. It makes your armies different though, because Moria is like a horde army. If you start putting monsters and stuff in it, it's less that.
Yeah.
And you need to concentrate on that as a tactic. But it's a good tactic. But yeah, I mean, if you're going down the horde line, just horde it out and get some shamans in there. Multiple shamans is the way forward with Moria. I think I've never built a true Moria list. I've got everything to do it, and there was a plan to do it at one stage, and it was in mind was multiple shamans and captains.
Yeah, really hoard it out.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, I mean, the standard-ish kind of builds that you tend to see is the Gundabad Black Shields front rank, because you've got the strength 4 and the defense 6 front rank, supported by normal goblins with spear, lots of shamans. People tend to take, is it Deberts that automatically gives a 5?
Yeah.
It's Deberts that does that, 5 plus Fury, sorry. Druzag tends to come along if you want to make more of an army that's got wargs and spiders and bat swarms and things like that included.
Because they shield balls.
Yeah, things like that. Because then you can really pin down and assassinate heroes with wargs. You know, Oakenbrand has had that problem many a time dealing with an enraged warg.
I've played using that rule a few times, and it all comes down to setting up that play and timing, because you want to get the heroic combat off. For instance, if you're using Shelob while she's enraged, you need that heroic combat to work. So it does take a lot of forward planning in the game and trying to get your minis in the positions that you need them to be in, and for your opponent to play ball and fall into that trap, really.
Certainly does.
But when it comes off, it's devastating. Devastating.
So let us know how you get on with that force, buddy. Keep speaking on Speak Friend and Question. That's what it's here for. Next up, we've got Saruman the White. If Jamie has returned, give him the quiz from last time. No, there was a quiz about Valentine's Day. I don't know if you saw it. Did you see it?
What was the quiz? Remind me, I probably have, but I would have been building terrain whilst it was on.
Where did Valentine's Day originate?
Oh right, wasn't it? Didn't he die horribly or something?
Yeah, but where? What country?
Oh, what country?
That's what I said.
Guessing, I'd say somewhere like Italy or something.
I said Italy. The answer was England.
Was it?
Yeah, I know.
It's commercialised from an early time, this place.
Do you know what the meaning of the word Valentine's is?
Valentine.
And again, I said, well, wasn't it the same? Wasn't it his name? But do you know what the actual etymology?
I thought it was just his name, and that's where we got it from.
Stands for valour, apparently.
Okay.
The one that I did get right. Who is Cupid's father?
Not a clue, mate.
You can do it in either Greek or Roman.
Greek or Roman, don't know.
It's Hephaestus, he's like a smith.
Would never have got
that. Because he is married.
So nothing to do with love and romance then?
Well, no, he's married to Aphrodite or Venus.
Okay.
Depending whether you are a Grecophile or.
That's as close to Valentine's Day as I'm getting this cup.
And then he had another question: who receives statistically the most amount of Valentine's cards? Is it mothers, partners, daughters, teachers? No, he had like loads of things. Who receives the most amount of Valentine's?
Who do I think?
Yeah.
As a mothers, daughters. I suppose daughters depends what stage of the life they're at.
Because my answer was, isn't Valentine? Don't you? You're just supposed to give them to your other half, aren't you?
But when you're in school, you get Valentine's cards, don't you? That with a big question mark on.
Oh, when you're a kid?
Yeah, you get loads, don't you?
Still get them.
I've got another post box.
Got a PO box. Next to Andreas.
They're all from Jay though. That's what
Teachers
you get.
was the answer.
That's what you get for stinging me on Facebook.
That was a burn. That was so good. That was so good. If anybody didn't see that,
Terrible man.
You have to get yourself on a great
Terrible
shortly.
man.
Yeah, the answer was teachers apparently. With the quizzes I put up, I thought it'd be quite fun to have quizzes. Get gather points for a little tournament, a Lizard Games if you will. Simply do the quizzes, gain points and use those points to purchase soldiers for your combative armies. They come in at the end of the year or something like that. Of course, it's up to you how this would be done. It'd be awesome if you'd consider this as a thing. Well, things are very, very hard to organise like that. And that's how we never know what's really going on. We try our best to come up with some kind of schedule. But I do like your little kind of 3 to 5 question quizzes. They cheer me up at every Speak Friendly question. So
Fun.
yeah, it is fun. Oh, he's actually got one here. On to my actual question. Quiz will be next week, so hold on to your bums. I've begun building my Khandish force with the canned battle pack. I was wondering what you guys recommend for building it. I was thinking a canned captain on chariot, Khandish king on horse, one leading a group of Khandish horse archers, the other leading footmen. Not great, but that is what I'll start off with. Give me some tips. I prefer to include as little Easterlings as possible. I want to focus on the Khanate itself. And here we go. Lizard boy. Lizard boy! I did it for 28 seconds.
I've seen it. Well, I heard it.
It was impressive, wasn't it?
I thought YouTuber got stuck or something. I'm not looking at something.
Yeah, a bunch of people saying what they always say, change the record, James. So, recommendations for canned.
I'd set recommendations. Good. I've had a canned army in my to-do box.
I gave you a Khandish
You
king.
gave me the king, yeah. That was the
Khandish.
final thing that I need. I've got a load of horsemen,
You
a
did
couple
well
of
on
chariots. Eh?
You did well.
Yeah, I did.
I got off for 90 quid. But I was like, no, I'd rather give it to Steve because he's a friend.
Friendship's worth more than money, mate.
It is, it's true.
Do you know what I mean? So.
You know that throne duel that you do?
So yeah, so I gather that Khand are not very strong as a force, but they just look cool. So I don't know really. I'd be interested to see what you come up with because I need to come up with a list myself.
I like the idea of all mounted canned. Like, because in my mind, I think of Mongols, Genghis Khan when I see that aesthetic.
Yeah.
And I'd like to see that. So lots of horse archers, lots of chariots.
What's their rule? Is it a third? They can go above a third. Is it 50%?
I'm not sure.
They have got us.
I don't think that includes some of their troops. I think it's
Was it just the horse?
just Easterlings. I think.
Oh, is it?
Should be canned. Yeah, I think so. Something like that anyway. It's in the book.
I might be wrong.
But yeah, that's definitely the aesthetic that I like. The idea of lots of chariots. I mean, a Khandish king on a chariot is incredibly powerful. Khandish kings are good, but a Khandish king on a chariot is good. So if you can get a couple of those,
What's the Khand battle pack?
No idea. Never heard of it. Must be an old box set.
I've never seen it.
Okay, so thank you very much, Saruman the White, as ever. Next up, we've got Daniel Theories. But hi, guys, thank you, James, for your answers last week. I shall leave it up to you to get the after hours special going. He's referring to getting Damien drunk and rambling. Damien was mega offended. He was mega offended. You know, he doesn't drink.
Oh.
No, he doesn't.
Pillar of community.
After he heard that, he called me the mean one. He called me the mean one and said he was off to drown his sorrows with some Budweiser. So,
and some profanity.
And some profanity, yeah. It would be something for me to watch after my missus is in bed. I'm now living the dangerous life of buying or looking into buying more Lord of the Rings models, having been reintroduced back into the hobby. Common problem, everyone. I've spent my week off repainting my Isildur and Elendil models to a much better standard. They are nice models, aren't they?
Gorgeous, yeah.
My question this week is, what is the hierarchy of rule books? So which ones are the ones which are used for tournaments, for example? The Big Blue Book, does that supersede the region source books? I'm going to go down the path of trying to own all release rule books for my own OCD purposes, but I'm curious to know. Thank you kindly. Well, I believe that you'll know the answer to this, Steve.
Well, your Hobbit rule book is your main core set of rules, which is up to date. Excluding obviously the FAQs, which you can get online, and all the army source books are what you'll use to pick your army with, and that's what's used at tournaments. So the Big Blue rule book, the one book to rule them all, is it's handy to have, and it's a really nice book. It's got loads of nice things in it. But yeah, you couldn't use that and play off that rule set at tournaments nowadays.
No. So go and get hold of a Hobbit SBG rulebook. You can get hold of the rules manual, of course, on its own, or you can get the Escape from Goblin Town set. You can still get the limited edition one to get a nice little Radagast in it. If you get hold of one of those, you get the little Hobbit rulebook, and that's the one that you need to play the game. Plus, source book relevant for your armies.
I might have one spare. If you drop me a PM on Facebook,
There you go.
Are you in the UK? Does it say?
Go and like the Top Table Wargaming Facebook page and send Steve a message on there. That's a good idea. Okay, so next up we've got Alex Wright. This is Wright Wargames Terrain.
Awesome.
This guy built my display.
Big fan.
You're a big fan.
I love his videos, yeah.
He's a legend.
Yeah.
We love you. I wonder if he's coming to Ardacon.
Come.
Maybe. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? This guy makes some outstanding boards. I do recommend you go and check out our partners over in the US of A who run the DCHL YouTube channel, because they play on some of this guy's boards. And yeah, wow. See the Smile Treasure one?
Insane. I love it.
It's a thing of beauty.
Obviously it's my thing, innit? I like that. So
Yeah.
I always like to steal ideas.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you going to replicate all of them?
Oh yes.
Oh yes. Late Town board that he did was incredible.
Yeah.
You can do one there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I've got
Goblin
time,
Town?
if I've got time, it will be done.
Do you need me
by
goblin
July.
chocolates downstairs, by the way?
Maybe, maybe not. I've got loads, but yeah, if I need them, then
Just take them.
yeah. I've not even started that yet.
Just take
but,
them.
but we'll get there.
Just take
Okay.
it. Giving me a skilly for as well.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well. Scaring a Cheshire coming up. Huh?
It's going to be big.
Something to look forward to. So anyway, Alex Wright, good friend of ours, friend of the show. Hi James, I'm starting a Rohan army. I knew he was a legend. I knew he was one of the good guys. I'm looking at 800 points of all mounted. What are the models that I absolutely should include in this army? I have 3 boxes of riders coming in for now, but I was wondering about banners, how many red shield warriors, and which heroes. Thank you very much. Well, I've answered this question many times. There is a hierarchy of heroes that you must go for when taking a Rohan army.
If you're being competitive.
If you're being competitive, yeah. Obviously, if you're doing fluffy, then you don't need to ask a question. If you're going fluffy, then pick a theme and pick those heroes. But for a more optimised type of list, and even then it's going to be difficult for you, because at 800 points, it's tough going pure all-mounted Rohan, because you're going to come up against a lot of things that are really good at taking it down, such as monsters and wizards. Monsters and wizards are a really good hard counter to an all-mounted Rohan army at that points cost. However, at 800 points, let's say that you are going for a pure all-mounted Rohan force, I would say that you need to take Eomer, Knight of the Pelennor. You need a big hero at that points cost, definitely.
Yeah.
And he can do it. You need Erkenbrand. Erkenbrand is probably always the most important hero, and that's because you can get that Westfold Red Shield upgrade, and it also makes all of your riders courage of elves, courage 5, it's +2 courage. So that's
immense.
Wonderful, and he brings lots to the table for only 75 points. I think Eowyn is incredible.
Mm-hmm.
For 46 points, fully kitted out, without throwing spears, I think. Yeah, fully kitted her out with shield and everything. She's cheap, might come into the army, and then really, your Westfold Red Shields want to make up about at least half of your army, and then you want approximately a third of Sons of Ale, Rohan Royal Guard and Outriders to make up that next half.
How many banners would you have in 802?
Well,
Just the one.
Mm-hmm.
At 800 points, would you consider having maybe 1, possibly 2 warbands on foot?
no,
Not at all.
I wouldn't. But that's because I'm a big fan of all-mounted Rohan. But then again, my 600 point list, because I think that all-mounted Rohan works best at 500 points. And the reason it works best at 500 points is that you actually bring in quite a lot of cheap might at 500 points. And if you can get Knight of the Pelennor in there, he's quite a strong hero at 500 points.
Yeah.
And it's also the fact that you're not coming up against as many big beasties or wizards, unless of course you're up against a much smaller army, at which point it's easier for you to take advantage of your bows and the like. But at 800 point, when I got 600 points, sorry, then I did take a warband of infantry.
Mm-hmm.
But that was mainly for holding objectives. More than
Yeah,
anything.
that's what I was thinking.
It's more about holding objectives, so I took Royal Guard on foot, Banner on horse behind them on Royal Guard banner, Outriders were on foot, and then half Westfold Red Shields, half Sons of Ale, with those 3 heroes. But 800 points.
How much is an outrider on foot? Same as a normal warrior?
7 points, same as a normal warrior, but
Difference in shooting is...
you've got better shoot value. It's exactly the same across the board, except you gain Vanguard special rule, and you gain +1 shoot value. So there's never any point of taking a warrior of Rohan on foot
Yeah.
With
How
a
cool
bow.
would that be? A warband with, oh no, because he's an independent hero and a King's Huntsman.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
It would be cool. Can be done. So there you go. Those are my recommendations. Look forward to seeing you build it up, and send me a message, buddy, because if we can get you over for Ardacon in some way, get you involved, or have Alex wargaming terrain.
Be nice to bend your ear for half an hour.
Yeah, but just think you two get together, make some magic, huh? Be amazing.
Then do some terrain.
And do some, yeah, that's right. I'm waiting for it. Okay, cheers for that, buddy. Next up, we've got Wasadi 1969's. But hi, James. Warhammer Fest is the new version of Games Workshop's Games Day. See, I know what Games Day is. Basically, it's a 2-day event at the Rico Arena in Coventry. What else was at the Rico Arena? Did they used to film like Gladiators or something? No, that was at the NEC, wasn't it?
No, that was NEC.
Where they have displays, demos of games or hobby skills for the game systems and the Golden Demon painting competition. Really hoping for some SBG coverage there, or maybe some leaks as to what is to come from the specialist games.
When's that?
I'm not too sure when that is. I know something you don't know. Ardacon, October. Get yourself there. That's where the SBGC is going to explode this year. Okay. Finally got my hands on the last of the models for my doings vote, 750 points. But what are the popular points level for tourneys that I should be sorting lists for? Keep up the good work, guys. Wes. Tends to be arranged.
It's really varied now, isn't it? Really varied. I used to always think it was around the 600 mark.
It was.
But you've
Was
got
last year.
You've got really like low level ones, which are nice, and then the higher points ones. I think for July, the scouring in July, I went for 750, which I think is the higher end. I struggle.
But you've done the 2.
Yeah, which
it's not
was,
a bad rule to keep
I think
the
it's
games quicker.
Sam Page wanted to come up with that. It's a really good idea.
Sam Page came up with that. Well, I think Damien came up with it and suggested
I
it.
did
to
it.
Sam.
It is a good rule. For me, anything above,
force, doesn't it? Saruman.
yeah. I think anything above 750 for me, for Hobbit SBGs, is playable, but I don't think you end up playing the game as it should be.
No.
I think you're talking more of the Ring rules there.
Yeah. I agree with you. What you tend to see is there'll be a couple a year which are 350, 400 points. Desolation Stockport's 400 points to play. Was it gone up to 450? I can't remember, but I'm sure it's less than 500 points. Then you get a couple of 500 points, a couple of 600 points, a few at 700, a couple at 750 but not loads, one at 800 usually, and sometimes there's one at 1,000 points a year. So that gives you a good idea of the range. I think it's always good in your mind to build a 600 point army at this stage of SBG in your mind, because then you're not too far away from...
That's what I tend to do. If I'm building a new fort, I always end up around that mark, and then if I'm going to a tournament that maybe is above that, I then just add to it, and if it's one that's less, then I start to take away. But I think I've got probably 600-700 points for every faction.
Yeah, same.
At least.
Same. So next up we've got Mr. Snoblaw. He's put, I've been close to quitting the game a few times, but that was a few years ago, nothing recently. So he was talking about, have we ever got to a point where we just thought about like rage quitting, or just have we ever got to a point where we thought about walking away from an opponent?
I've never raged quit. I got to a point where I had a few months off, about 5 months away from it, but that was not through choice. It was just life being very busy and work being busy and just not being able to squeeze it in. I love this game.
Yeah, me too. I've made someone rage quit the hobby before though. Back in my old store, I used to be one of the top 40k players with my Tau. I've heard that they're a bit of a gamey army in 40k. Like they are the elves, effectively. They sit back, form a line on as far away from the opponents as possible, and then just shoot them from a long way off, very effectively. And one day, one of the ex-staff members came in and he just started playing 40k again. The manager at the time told him to play against me as I wasn't currently playing a game. After the first turn, I'd killed all of his army except for two bikes that were out of sight. The guy packed up his stuff and left raging about how unbalanced the game was. I was then told I wasn't allowed to play against people who were new to the hobby again. That's terrible. Not got a question this week, but keep up the good work, guys. Yeah, I don't think 40k is designed to be a competitive game, unless the whole point is creating those competitive lists. From experience. I really like 40k, even though I've only played it a few times, because I found it really fun. And I think if you play the game with that in mind, rather than just trying to build things that will smash your opponent, I think it's actually quite a fun game.
I've never actually played a game before. I've bought 2 box sets of 40k with the intention of learning how to play it, and just never got around to it.
Got my Space Wolves and my Khorne Berserkers downstairs ready to smash it up on Hotgates Gaming at some point in the near future. Got to get them painted first though. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you very much, Mr. Snoblar. Next up we've got Callum D. He's got, thanks James, definitely agree about the Knight of Umbar. About the favourite aesthetic for one of the named raids, I think.
Yeah, it looks cool.
For my question this week, would have to ask, what is the best way to list build? Should I start with heroes and build my warbands around them, or choose heroes based on the strengths of my troops? Do you do troops first, heroes next, or heroes first?
Heroes. I'm one of them guys who just think, right, I want him in my army, and then I build the army around it. I don't, whatever else, I want that mini in my army. That's how I go.
Yeah, for me, heroes come first. Heroes come first, you try and build it around it, and then you nip and tuck, maybe change some of the heroes if you realise that they're impacting too much on the size of your force.
Yeah.
Or what your force looks like it is either lacking or what it needs to build on.
Yeah. It's like you said with the Rohan, there's a hierarchy, so you have the hero that you want, and then you have a couple of heroes that you'd like to get in.
Yeah.
That's how I do it anyway, and if I can squeeze the others in, that's great, but they're droppable if I need to.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for that, Callum D. Next up we've got Josh Ross. He's put, hey guys, does Thranduil and Tauriel, Blade Mistress and Blade Lord rules still apply when immobilised?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see one up.
Yeah, you just,
But you would half...
You still half it.
You still half it. You still half it, but I don't see why...
You apply it and then half it.
We're not wrong, are we? Yeah, because I don't think immobilise doesn't stop special rules. I know it stops you from being able to actively do stuff, so you can't like heroic strike when you're transfixed anymore.
Yeah.
Like that's been clarified, hasn't it? But I think that as a special rule, I think that you just half the attacks, don't you?
That's how I play it.
I'm pretty sure that's right, but if you want to get an absolute concrete answer, get yourself onto the Great British Hobbit League Facebook page and ask the guys on there, because there's a ton of people on there who know the rules much better than I do. Next up we've got James Keelty. Hi guys, thanks for the answers, and I am staying in the loop. Brilliant stuff. I'm glad that you all know what the loop is. It means that they've got to...
Ask again next week.
Certainly do. I've got 2 questions this time. First, what miniature would you like to see Games Workshop make? Mine would be a Morgoth. Would you like to see Games Workshop create?
Well, that they haven't done. Tons of stuff from Battle of 5 Armies. I mean, that list is endless, isn't it?
Yeah, there's loads of stuff from Battle of 5
Well, the trolls, obviously dwarves, chariots, etc. Yeah, tons of stuff. I could go on all day about it, really.
I would like, as a Rohan man, I'd like Elf Helm.
Yeah, I converted an Elf Helm.
Did you?
I was going to bring Rohan to doubles, Palantir doubles last year. Don't made him and everything, and I can't remember the reason why. I think it was something to do with Jay being very lazy and not wanting to paint anything.
Well, he didn't anyway, did he?
No, he did paint. He already had the Lake Town militia painted. That's what we ended up on because we already done. I think we were going to do Rohan and Gondor, was it?
That would have been cool.
Something like
That's what when I won the tournament.
I think that's what we were going to do, and I converted him. But yeah, we never did it.
Well, yeah, Elf Helm, I think would be called like characters that are mentioned that you don't hear of. So there's a few, isn't there?
Characters out of the book that weren't in the films would be cool.
Yeah, characters out of the book and in the movies who didn't make it.
Yeah.
Yeah, things along those lines really. And also, have you gone to go and check out Shadow and Flames Morgoth? They did a Morgoth, didn't they?
Yeah.
The Lord of the Balrogs Morgoth.
Lord of the Balrogs, yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Hold on a minute, that's not Morgoth. That's
no, it's
what's his face? That's not Morgoth. They didn't make. They were planning to make. Yeah, they're planning to make Morgoth. They actually made Gothmog, Lord of the Balrogs. Yeah. I was thinking that didn't sound right. My second question is the same as last week's. What's your favourite episode of Arrow and Flash so far? Don't watch it. Sorry,
Don't watch it.
Only Jamie watches it.
I keep meaning to watch it, but no time.
No, I've not got it myself. Duncan MC, cheers James, sorry for the wordy question, lacked a bit of clarity last week, but your example helped and the answer makes sense. This week my question is, if Thranduil, king of the woodland realm, can use one of his 2 elven blades as a 2-handed weapon, I know it might seem crazy. This comes from the fact that I know a model that also has a shield and can't go 2-handed, and that the profile on Elladan and Elra here have a specific rule regarding using their 2 elven blades. Cheers and keep up the good work. No, not unless it's written in their profile.
You can't go 2-handed, can you?
No.
Unless it says it in his rules, I don't use.
No, they don't.
He can't go 2-handed.
Sorry, buddy. I'm pretty sure that that's the correct answer. Next up we've got Jericho Jackson. He's put, I can't believe you have all your models and terrain sitting uncovered on a shelf. In my house it'd be covered in a layer of dust within a few months. Do you not have this problem? Yeah, dust is always a problem. Just gotta, every now and again, just go on there and give him a bit of a wipe down.
He's got a pink duster.
Oh yeah. I put on me.
Don't know why I was doing that.
We bring you in to speak friend in question and you scare the kids.
This is why I've not been here for so long.
For this week's question, after Ardacon tickets come out, not long everybody, not long. Make sure your fingers are on the pulse, guys, because as soon as that goes up, it's out there.
Yeah.
You have to get on it.
Get in the queue.
Oh yes. Do you think it's a good idea for me to just go ahead and buy the double room tickets to the hotel, post on the group for anyone who wants to pay me about half and stay in the room? Yeah. Yeah. Because, as I keep on saying, Justin Bieber apparently is in Manchester that weekend. Heard about Ardacon, thought got to be in Manchester. So the prices have all shot up for all of the rooms. Luckily, I started negotiating before this was announced, so we've got an allocation of 50 rooms. Now, I have put it in there, look, if we sell out of the rooms like mega quick, could you increase the allocation? And I think that far in advance that they probably could. But it just depends how things go in terms of sales. But yeah, I would recommend, the moment you buy your ticket, the information will be on the ticket about how to contact the hotel, what to say, and what to go for. And I recommend that you do that straight away, and then just use the Facebook groups and the like to try and get together with other people. Definitely going to be the best way. Now, for those of you that would like to get the best, probably the best value, it's one of the common questions, I put it up in the group, but the best value rooms is something that I was talking to them about last time I was there, was the fact that we were getting groups of people coming, and they said that if you get a privilege room, including breakfast for each person, you get a sofa bed in there, and you get either 2 twin beds or a double bed depending on what's available and what you go for. That's £180 in total per night, so it's 45 quid each per night including breakfast, and that's pretty good.
Right.
City centre 4-star hotel. So I think that's going to be the best value to get. So if you don't mind sharing with somebody on a sofa bed, it is a double sofa bed. If that's something you want to do, then that might be a good idea, or find your own way with the other rooms as well. So I hope that helps. Thank you very much, Jericho Jackson. Next up we've got Brad Dye Hipster. Hello, Brad Dye Hipster is back in the loop once again. Very sorry, just been busy with college. I hope it's all going well, mate. My question for this week is, what do you think of this Barrels Out of Bond themed 400 points list for Desolation of Stockport, #fluff. So you've got Bolg, the old Bolg. 8 times Hunter Orcs, 4 times Hunter Orcs with 2-handed weapons. Narzug, 4 times Hunter Orcs with bow, and 1 times Hunter Orc with Warhorn and 2-handed weapon. Just a barrel load of fun. Hope all is well and keep up the great work. That looks like fun.
Yeah.
Bolg's pretty strong.
Hunter Orcs are good.
Yeah, Hunter Orcs are good. If you're going to take a small little force like that, 2 attacks is going to be handy. You know, you're not going to be coming up against
Are they fight value 3, 4?
5-3, I think. Orcs, aren't they? Can't imagine it being 5-4. But yeah, 5-3, 2 attacks, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that could be. I mean, because you're taking Bolg, you've got quite a small second warband. It would be, if possible, if you can fill out your warbands as best as you can. That would be the only suggestion.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Maybe drop the Warhorn and get a couple more.
Warhorn is for courage.
Yeah, maybe drop the 2-handed weapons.
Yeah, drop the 2-handed, because you're going to want to keep him really out of the fight anyway, aren't you?
Yeah. I'd say drop the 2-handed weapons across the board and the Warhorn and try and fill out your warbands with normal Hunter Orcs, and that would be
Is
better.
it worth giving them bowls?
Not at that point, Gus, I don't think. Not hitting on 5s most
Drop
of the
the
time.
two-handed, drop the bows, get some extra orcs in.
Yeah, just max out your warband, go for 2 attack assault, because I mean with Bolg that's what you want to be doing anyway, getting in the face. So thank you very much, Brad Dye Hipster. Look forward to seeing you at Destination Stockport. You coming to Destination Stockport?
I am.
Oh yes. We then got King Bones Eyes, but my opponent is using New Mirkwood. Good to hear. Well, I've got no idea what it's relevant to. Is it another question that you put in here, or is it to do last? If it's to do last week's, I've got no idea what I answered.
Just like typing I'm eating Weetabix.
How funny. Next up we got John Reeves. He's put, hey guys, John from Texas here. Welcome to Speak Fan Question. I haven't been watching Jarl's channel for very long, but I love the content. Great to hear. James, I also have an army of Rohan. Team Rohan. Team Rohan grows strong. My buddy has an army of Dwarf Rangers, Iron Guard that I can't beat. If y'all get a chance, try Rohan versus the Dwarf Rangers and please give me some ideas of how to beat him. Okie dokie. So, how to beat? Well, what's your Rohan list first of all? That'd be good. And what points levels are you playing at?
What is it that's beating you? Is it Bellfire?
Yeah, because I'm guessing what you're trying to do is skirmish against him, and because he's got strength 3, but no, because they're strength 2, aren't they? Dwarf Rangers got longbows, not Dwarf Warriors with strength 4.
Which are the ones with a? Are they strength 3 bows, Dwarf Rangers?
No, normal Dwarf Warriors with Dwarf bows, strength 3 bows, and can be
Dwarf
defense
Rangers.
6. But Dwarf Rangers are terrible.
I thought that.
Dwarf Rangers are pretty terrible.
Unless
be
they
able to
just
do that.
try to shoot them. What defence are they?
A Dwarf Ranger, I think, is defense 5. I mean, you will need 6s, but so will he with the 2. I mean, the thing is, dwarves are probably going to be a smaller force, especially when you've got Iron Guard, and because of some of the heroes in there, they're probably going to be reasonably small. You should be able to use manoeuvrability to target and focus your bow fire on parts of their army that you want to be able to overwhelm. So rather than being able to hit everything, and everything of theirs be able to hit you, get yourself in a position so that all of your bows can target 3 of theirs, and up the odds basically of getting them if you're losing in the shooting battle with it. But the key thing with dwarves is try and pull them apart. Only charge them when you've got them isolated off.
What points are you playing as well?
Yeah. But I've never really had a problem against just a dwarf army, because I find that because when you do charge, as long as you charge when they have priority and you get in on them, because you've got 4 dice, most of the time you've got 4, you've got Sons of Our, you've got more. Most of the time you've got 4 dice, you're kind of negating that defence, because 4 dice needing 6s is much stronger than sort of the grind, as it were. Especially because some of your Rohirrim riders all have axes as well. You get piercing strike when you charge in and just go for it like that. So, and if you've got Westfold Red Shields, so you've got fight 4, take out Erkenbrand, that will help. Then you're going to be matching fight value. So I hope that helps, John. Next up we've got Tom Turtle. He's put, James, when you planning to start painting up your Gondor army? After the Alchemists and Mirkwood Rangers, I have some Gondor in the pipeline and would like to paint along with your hobby vlogs. Well, that's nice to hear. Alchemists target priority right now, because I've got Season 2 of Guild Ball match reports coming very soon for Hotgates Gaming. I want to paint on Mirkwood Rangers because they're lovely models. I really love them. Have you painted any yet?
I've got 2 boxes unpainted.
Stunning. Tiny. Bilbo, what are you doing? In your bed. In your bed. Go on. It's Baggins. Everybody asked questions last week because they want to see a tricks video with Bilbo. It's coming soon to a GBHL podcast near you. Gondor probably will be after the saga.
Yeah, I've got my saga. I've only got my saga, that's it.
After my saga stuff, because that shouldn't take too long really, just a concerted couple of nights effort. Star of the show, Bilbo Baggins. Hello, mister. Hello. You got your lamb? Have you got your lamb?
That's lammy.
It's lammy. Yum, 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 yum. So cheers for that, Tom. Next up we got Who Else But Haldir. Good to have you back, matey. I'm not sure if this was answered last week, but I don't remember hearing it, so I figured I'll put it up again. I don't remember seeing this, so... Okay, I have a question for you guys. Now, it's not a complete list, so my points may be off a bit, but more of a concept idea for an all-infantry Rohan list. And Woses. Anyway, what about Grimbold? 9 Helmingas with throwing spears and shield. 3 Warriors of Rohan with bows. Erkenbrand as the leader. 6 Rohan Royal Guard with throwing spears. 1 Rohan Warrior with banner and shield. 5 Rohan Warriors with bow. Ganbury Gan, 12 roses, 500 points. The only weaknesses that I can really see is that it's got low fight and relatively low defence. However, it should be able to outshoot most armies, and once it gets into combat it should really hit hard.
Is it worth, like we said, changing the Warriors of Rohan bows to Outriders?
Always. There's no point ever taking them.
Just if you haven't got the model, you can just convert them.
Yeah.
It's easily done.
Monsters, you actually put a little plume thing on
Just
there.
as long as they look different, yeah.
Yeah, plume thing, and that should be good enough. Monsters could be a little bit of a problem, but I was thinking of throwing Erkenbrand, Heroic Striking and Grimbold, 2-handed piercing strike, and hopefully they can kill it in one turn. Really work that out. Okay.
If only it could be planned out.
Yeah, if only. Okay, so I see where you're going here. Okay, I'm going to make a couple of points. First of all, Grimbold is a terrible hero. Okay, he used to be much more important in the Rohan meta as being sort of listed as one of the must-take heroes, because Strength 4 and the ability for a good force to get access to Strength 4 was so rare. And Strength 4 was a key stat because much of the meta was Defense 6. So there's a big difference good armies being able to wound on 5s instead of 6s. But Grimbold himself is actually pretty terrible. You know, yeah, he's got his 2-handed weapon.
Great model.
Yeah, cool model, very, very cool model. He's 5'4". He's just a 5'4" captain that's low defence, he's only defence 5, has to take a 2-handed weapon. Also, the strength 4 is much less relevant now in the meta because of the special strikes, piercing striking, models being able to feint and the like. It means that actually, is it worth paying a point to do that, or is it worth having just taking your Rohan warriors that have got axes on and piercing striking with them and doing it that way? At 500 points, your best part of your army there is Ganbury again on your 12 roses. I would recommend mounting Erkenbrand. Throwing spears aren't as effective as you think they're going to be, especially when you've got guys on foot, because you're going to do a lot of sort of, well, if you move forward to throw them when you've had priority, the opponent gets in your face, and if they win the roll off or win priority next turn, you've kind of lost that. It's quite unwieldy.
I think I've never used them, but from seeing Jamie use them and other people use them, I sort of, in my head I've got, if you played 10 games using them in one game, they'd be good, and the other 9 they'd be useless.
Yeah, most of the time they're hitting on 5s, you know what I mean? And you've got to bear that in mind, 5s. You've got to be taking a lot of throwing spears to really get something back. And yeah, if they kill something, you know, kill a couple of things, then maybe they're paying for themselves a little bit. But I would rather have more troops, to be honest. So that's what I think about your all infantry Rohan. I think there are 2 ways to go with all infantry Rohan. I think that the heroes stay the same really as the mounted, as your mounted counterparts. You know, you don't just bring Grimbold because it's an all infantry. If you're going for a more optimised list, and you can either hoard it out with tons of just Rohan warriors and try and get a third of Outriders in there, because they are pretty cheap troops. And you could throw in Spirit, it ups the cost of it, but because you've got so many it might work. Or really, you need to be taking a Royal Guard, you know, and shielding down the line, as it were, with banners behind, winning fights and trying to gang up using your heroes in different parts of the line. So that's what I would say about that. Who else is but how dear? So thanks very much for your question. We've only got a few more left. So next up we've got Acklon39. He's put, very excited for Throwing the Skulls now. What about you? What armies are you bringing? Also, what hotels are you guys and people staying at? Because I've been struggling to find the right one. And Cooperman Cam has said, I'm in the same boat. Well, Ryan, I thought that you'd sorted one out because I thought I was staying with you. So if anybody's got a hotel room and they need a partner,
Might be in Ryan's car
yeah.
with pizza.
What are you taking? Throwing the Skulls.
Honestly, I haven't got a clue yet. I don't know. Something that's ready. Something that's ready. It's not ready though, and I don't know that I've got so much terrain to build. I just bring like a fluffy goblin town. No shame. Just Goblin King and some captains. I just wanted to go to the event. I'm not bothered what I bring. I'm not bothered how I do.
Gondor, man. It's all about Gondor. Everyone knows.
If I can get it ready, I'll bring it.
Comment below if you want to see Steve bring his nice fluffy Gondor list.
If I can get it ready, I'll bring it.
Fallen out of love with.
It's unlikely. It's either that or bring it, and it's a bit tight.
Since there's no, you know, king of men to defend, as you know, I am the reigning Kingdoms of Men champion. Just thought I'd drop that in there. There's no point bringing like anything but fluffy stuff that you would not get to normally play with, really. And I've been having I really enjoyed painting Bayorn, and I've enjoyed using him in the battle reports that we did. That was good fun. So what I was thinking of doing was taking like Bayorn.
I might bring White Council.
That's a cool idea. I was thinking of taking Bayorn, which is 200 points, and then I was thinking of taking New Thranduil and some Mirkwood Rangers and a Wizard or something like that. Just a little force that I'll have fun with, like something big to hit with, something fragile to sort of move around with and have fun with, and your opponent can get to kill. So it's not like just all hero experience.
I haven't got the luxury to be able to pick a force. So I'm just gonna have to bring what's ready.
That's been somewhat effective because my Thranduil effectively melted after a series of unfortunate events involving a cold primer spray followed by leaving it in the fairy power spray.
You've got a line of them.
You're gonna
Stack.
You've got spells, haven't you? I like one there.
I've got my painted one. If you want to take that, right.
Yeah, cool. If I don't get one painted up by then. So that's what I'm going to probably take. Akathon, you've also put this up as well. By the time this goes up, I'll have just passed. But what armies? Oh, what armies will you both be bringing to there and back again? Also, what are your goals for this year's league positions wise and stuff? There and back again. What's that?
There and back again is.
Is that down birds? Sanctuary?
Down birds.
That's
when's that? That's coming up, isn't it?
It's like next week or something, isn't it? Is it this weekend? Are you all there now?
It's soon.
It is soon.
My plan originally was to get to a load at the beginning of the year, but with the amount of terrain I've got to build, it's a lot more sense. So back end of the year, I'm going to try and hammer as many tournaments as I can.
Same here. My resources are very, very streamlined at the moment because of Ardacon. I've got to get everything ready for that, and that's going to be huge. So a lot of my whole focus is towards that. And April's going to be a pretty busy month because I'm going Throne of Skulls. Had to do it. I had such a good time last time. And Desolation Stopport's that month as well. Mm-hmm. So April's going to be pretty tough. So I've pretty much spent a lot of my tournament points, and there's a chance that we might be going over to Nova again as well, which could be cool. So I'm not going to have too much free reign to get to the independent scene, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be awesome. So have a good time. So goals for league position, couldn't care less. Keeping an eye on it, but to be honest, for myself, not that interested.
I don't think I'll go to enough tournaments to be able to try and get somewhere that I want to be. I'd like to get top 10 one year. I'd
like to have another year like I did the first year, where I got to like most of them and give it a real good crack with my Rohan again, because I think I could do better. Especially because the trend has gone from, it had a period of time where 500 points was really quite good, and then it grew and grew and grew and grew, and now tournaments are going back down to being sort of around that 500 point mark, 400 to 600 points.
Do you think tournaments are more difficult now than they were because of the amount of people now that are playing? Do you think you can work back? I found that I come up against better players than when the early tournaments that I went to.
I think that generally people's games,
the level's getting better. Right?
The level's getting better across the board. But because I haven't competed particularly, I mean, I competed at Scotland and did really well. I come fourth, I think, 4th or 6th. Competed at Longbottom, came 4th. You know, competed at Nova, came 3rd. I was the only one to compete in. I didn't really compete at the SBG doubles one, came 1st with my partner Jay Acharya. Took these guys down in the semi-finals while they were having a handbags at dawn over about whether to commit Thranduil. I was there thinking, yeah, you've got to get him in. If you get him in, we're going to lose.
It was a good tournament, that tournament. I'm looking forward to this year's.
It was really good fun. Hopefully I can make it.
Me and Barry this year.
Barry O'Neill?
Yeah, Jay bit me off.
Tandora. He has, hasn't he?
Dumped me.
Who's he going with?
Some not very good painter from down south.
Murtow?
Yeah, he's going with James.
Murtow? Isn't it weird how you've still got me as Thermo in your phone, haven't you? Yeah. Isn't that mad?
It's crazy.
It's crazy, and it's hard for me to say James Baldwin because he's Murtow to me.
I like James Baldwin. He's a good guy.
Yeah. He's a lovely guy, I love him to bits. So next up we got Wow! He's put great episode, James, getting really excited for Ardacon. Wonder if I'm the furthest traveller from Vancouver in British Columbia. Nope, got someone coming over from New Zealand. Oh mate, I'm so excited. My stomach just dropped when I said that. There are people coming from everywhere. It's going to be incredible. I'm bricking it in so many ways.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good getting everyone together. These people who you speak to or you've seen having conversations on Facebook and stuff. Because I visit like the New Zealand Hobbit group and the Canada Hobbit group.
You've got the pictures of half built terrain.
Yeah. It's when I'm trying to sell stuff.
Hey,
No, I keep an eye on
pay for a Hobbit.
I keep an eye on it because obviously I like people up with ideas. You can't. It's nice to take ideas from different things.
Yeah, it's good to be in on all the communities as well, because it's an international thing now. It's not just about the British Hobbit League.
To actually meet these people, be strange but be cool at the same time.
No, it's going to be great fun, and actually Steve is very privileged because don't start inboxing on that because he's not going to give anything away, and there's no point anyway because tickets are going to be in sale in the next couple of weeks. So just get your fingers on the pulse. But Steve is one of the privileged. Well, he's the only privileged person who's actually got to see the venue.
And what a good scout hut it is.
That's right. It's a working men's club.
Yeah. We've cancelled bingo for the night.
We told them to not flush out that thick layer of smoke that goes across, and we're just going to be playing on the old snooker tables.
Have a game of dominoes at night.
That's going to be class.
It's going to be awesome. Really good. Really
your face when you went, because we were walking through the double doors. There's the bar in front, isn't there? And you turn left and you walk and you go from that slightly dropped ceiling to the expanded space.
It's cool.
And you just look round at him and he's just like,
it is nice.
yeah, this is going to be good.
It's going to be really good. Yeah, for a nice surprise, everyone.
Question. Tom has dodged the question thrice, so it falls to you. For each of the pairs of Southern GBHL hosts and Northern GBHL hosts, who is Batman? Who is Batman? Well, if I told you, I'd have to kill you. So, have you asked them that question on the Palantir? Who is Batman between, or for each of the pairs? Oh, who's Batman? Who's Robin?
Oh, that's a strange question.
I think that's an easier one with the Southern group because. Who's Batman? Go on, let's leave this to you. Who's Batman? Who's Robin?
Southern Batman would be Damien, I think.
No.
And Northern Batman.
Be careful.
I think Jamie would be Robin.
Jamie would be Robin?
Yeah.
I think Jamie
I can see him in red and green lycra, to be honest.
Red and green lycra, can you?
Yeah.
You have seen him, or you can see him?
Well, it depends.
You're visualising that now?
On a Wednesday night.
Oh, brilliant.
50p a drink.
And second question, what do you enjoy playing the most? Points, matches or scenarios? Thanks for your Herculean efforts, that's a great word, Herculean efforts to the SBG community. And Crodocan has put much respect. Do you enjoy scenarios or points matches?
Both. I've only really got a chance to properly play scenarios with Damien in the Fellowship of the Ring campaign.
Alone in the Woods with me as well.
Yeah, and it was cool. It was nice. It's nice to play a game where
it's a nice pace.
It feels like there's no pressure. No, the pressure's off. You're sort of playing through. You're playing with the person, not against the person. It feels like. I think.
Fantastic answer. Absolutely right. I completely agree with that. When you play a scenario, you feel like you're both coming together to kind of make some cool stuff happen, and that works really, really well. What comes across nicely on camera as well, I think sometimes, because you're telling a story. Although I do like that element of slight bit of competition a points match brings. That whole thing of strategy and trying to outfox your opponent is important as well. I think it's good if you can combine the two. That's what I try to do with Adventures in Arda where possible, is try and create some kind of cool story, but not have it completely unbalanced, and you're still going at it. You still got to try and win the game, but you're doing it in the spirit of the game rather than.
They're both cool ways to play the game.
Yeah.
Two different ways, both as good as each other, I think.
Next up we've got War again. He's put GBHL and HGG channels. You put, I haven't noticed any drop in quality or output of videos since HGG started. If anything, the frequency of quality of GBHL videos has never been better. and it's great getting extra content via HGG. Keep up the cracking work and looking forward to becoming a Patreon soon for both channels. So for both me and Jamie, that's very nice of you. Thank you very much. Once I pass my probation period in 6 weeks' time at work. Well, that's really nice of you, War. Thank you very much. Have you found it since the start of Hotgates Gaming?
What, as in quality videos?
Yeah, just across the board.
To be honest, I agree with what he's saying. I think, and not just Hotgates Gaming, I think in general there's a lot of content for the hobby, which for me personally I think is good. The more content the better.
There's a bunch out there. There's some great YouTube channels now that have all kind of spawned since the GBHL podcast has been started, from various different countries. Some do English speaking content, some don't, but it's just great to see that there's so much community activity across the board. And not just in the UK with the Great British Hobbit League. There are Hobbit leagues springing up across the world. It has become more of an international thing now.
I do remember the days of waiting for the next GBHL video.
Yeah.
Because there was nothing else.
Yeah. And you don't need to do that now. You can be pretty selective. And I think that's probably, I mean, somebody commented the other day, I think they might have done it on my, where did they comment? It might have been on Speak Friend in Question. I think somebody had said something like, how come we're seeing less of me on the GBHL podcast, and the point that I made was you're not really seeing less of me, it's just that you're seeing more of the other guys. You see more of the other guys and there's more content in total. I'm still there doing Speak Friend in Question, hobby blogs, midweek content such as Mordor Sourcebook Review. There are army showcases and miniature showcases lined up, and especially initially I was managing to get battle reports as well, and it's not that I haven't been managing to get those battle reports for GBHL podcast, it's that Jamie has stood up and is producing them as well. And I think that there is that element of, okay, everybody needs to sort of raise their game because so many people are doing it, so you want to make sure that your content is continue to try and improve and become the best. And that's why I want my Patreon at HGG to really keep picking up. Got over 700 subscribers now, which is unbelievable. And nearly 30 patrons, which is brilliant as well. And as that goes, we want to be able to improve the equipment, microphones, want to have a studio, want to be able to just have the most cinematic terrain you possibly can, and just continue improving what we're doing. So keep backing the projects, guys, because there's exciting things coming up, and as HCG improves, GBHL will improve, and vice versa. So thank you very much for good feedback there, War. Next up we got Pete_Pete. Hey James, a question here as someone who is thinking about getting back into their Hobbit hobby.
Do it.
Do it now.
Go into the read the rest of the questions.
Yep.
Do it.
I last played during the heyday of Lord of the Rings SBG, and I have a lot of Lord of the Rings figures, including some unpainted, more than enough to put an army together. So the question is, what do I need? What are the relevant source books or rule books for someone coming back into what is essentially a different game, The Hobbit rather than Lord of the Rings? I stopped playing Lord of the Rings around the time of the supplements, around the time the supplements began to tail off. So probably the last book I actually bought for the game would have been The Battle of Pelennor when the Haradrim came out. So any advice on where to begin from you or anyone else who wants to comment, that would be great. All the best. Well, welcome back to the hobby, Pete. Don't think about it, do it.
Yeah, and PM me because I have some spares.
Yep.
I've got a spare mini rule book, a spare big rule book, and possibly spare couple of source books, so just drop me a PM.
There you go. So go
sort of trade or sale or something.
Like Top Table Wargaming on Facebook, send that group a message, and Steve will get back to you because he's got the relevant rule book. You do need source books as well for the relevant armies. They're much harder to get hold of, and some of them are out of production and you will struggle to get hold of as well. So recommend in that sense, for example, if you're looking to build a high elf army, for example, getting hold of the free peoples
on eBay for 25 quid right now.
Oh, right this second. Well, it's Sunday now, isn't it? Thursday.
Oh yeah, be gone.
Have you gone by now? It'll be gone.
I think I might have bought it. If you want to buy it, it's 50 quid.
It'll be tough to get hold of those, so what you'll have to do is use things like Army Builder, etc., and just get yourself down to sort of ask questions. I'll tell you what's a good thing to do. Go and check out our various sourcebook review weeks, because we talk about things like war gear and points and stuff.
Which means it's a good thing anyway. So if you build your army and there's heroes that you're unsure about what they can and can't do, if you ask on the Facebook group, someone will chip in and help you out. But depending on what you're interested in, what army you want to build, if you drop me a PM, I might be able to help you out.
There you go. Help from Top Table Cool, Steve. Next up, we've got Crodecan. He's got, hi guys, thanks for the answers last week. New question, new week, new question. Can Fury negate the effects of Boromir's Horn? Keep up the great work. Best regards, Mikkel Janssen. Yes. Yep, you don't have to take it if you're in Fury range. Which is a shame. Cooper Mancam again, he's put, can I take a warband of Baragon or Damrod leading an Avenger bolt thrower? Want to have some freedom to deploy it away from the troops without forking out points for an engineer captain. Sorry if naive about rules. I'm returning to the hobby after 6 years of rule changes. I believe it's a troop's choice.
Yeah, it's just a troop.
It's just a troop's choice.
As long as it's with a leader, that's, I think.
As long as you've got a hero to bring it in with, then yeah. I don't think
the engineer captain is an upgrade, isn't it?
The engineer captain is an upgrade so that you can use might on the shots,
yeah.
I believe, pretty much. So yeah, you would have to do that anyway, I think. But best thing to do is check your Kingdoms of Men and just have a little look at the wording, but I'm pretty sure that you would bring him along as part of a warband, and you can have other troops in that warband as well, but if you want it to be separate, then yeah, you could bring
Yeah, I think that's it. If you brought it with a cheaper hero, for instance Baragon, Damrod, you couldn't use their might to change your results on the rolls for shooting with the, but you can with the
but then it'd be deployed away from the troops, which I think is what you want. So I hope that helps. Next up we've got King Boneseye again. He's put, what do you think of the price of wizards? Whenever I think about bringing one, I then think of other ways I could spend the points. Nazgul can lead your troops, but wizards can't. I think a dwarven hero with some dwarves is a much better use of points. Are wizards better for other forces? What is your opinion? What's your opinion on wizards, Steve?
Wizards are awesome if you know how to use them. Well worth the points if you know how to use them. If you're unsure, the thing is you're not going to know how to use them until you start bringing them. So the first time you'll bring them with a force, you'll struggle because you'll forget things and stuff like that, but the more you play with them, the more beneficial they'll be in your force and they're worth the points, I think.
I think that all three of you British lads who came first, second and third at the Nova tournament would all agree that one of the reasons why we did so well, especially in a tournament where, you know, there were hordes of Defence 6 chaff, you know, just loads of those types of armies, was wizards. Wizards can change the game. One of the great things about wizards shut down big expensive heroes really, really well, and they can control how the game is going. They can be the difference in a shooting contest in lots of ways. They can really upset that balance, whether it's through sorcerous blasting or blinding lighting and things along those lines. Wizards are expensive, and it's a shame that they can't bring troops, but that's why you probably only see wizards, unless they're part of an all-hero force, you're only really going to see them at above 600 points, really, I would say.
Yeah.
But they are awesome. Do not underestimate how good a wizard is. I mean, I think Evil having the Nazgul and having ring raids for the price, you know, it is pretty phenomenal. It's phenomenal, especially if you can get multiple casters like that.
Yeah,
game changing. Because someone can take a Boromir, you know, someone can take Aemon Knight of Pelennor or Beorn the Bear. If they don't have any kind of counter magic to make sure that your wizard is having to focus on their wizard, then Beorn is out of the game. Thorin Oakenshield is out of the game. Dwalin is out of the game. All of these big hitters are out of the game the moment you get their will down and are just one dice in Immobilize on a 3+.
Yeah.
You know, Immobilize and Compel are awesome spells. You know, people always think Black Dart and Sorcerer's Blast, yeah, they've got their place, but it's more about just shutting down those heroes. Wizards are game changers, just depends on what points level you play. King Boneseye again. Well, lots from you as we come towards the end. Since Saruman is selfish about his lizard boy thing, then I'm going to be doing some. So how long can you say without running out of breath? Doing some.
During some.
During some.
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 Some. Do you want me to do it? Say when. Oh, we've got to say it long. Am I saying sun? I'm saying during sun. Do it. Am I saying the beginning bit quick?
Listen, Steve, you do whatever you want, pal. Whatever you think is going to be best. We're going to time him for during sun.
Tell me when to go.
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
During sun. I don't know.
13 seconds and a half. Okay, ready? During .85 seconds.
I thought you were having a seizure or something.
Well, it's okay, mister. I'm okay. Look at that. Look at the love. It's okay, mister. That's impressive. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. That was 37 seconds of content. Yeah, that's how long we can do that. Okay, cheers for that, King Boneseye. Next up, we've got Martin Smith. Late watching this week's episode, so I hope I've not missed the cut for my loot contribution. No, you haven't. As well as adding for the Bilbo video. Yeah, everybody wants Bilbo doing tricks. I'll get that up soon. After the discussion on partners' view on the beards, I definitely feel I'm winning. Had my beard for about 18 months now, and I was actually getting to that stage where I wanted to shave it off for a bit. But my partner wouldn't actually let me do it. I'm really glad about it, actually. Anyway, I've been trying to think of an interesting question. After previous questions on music and films, my question is on books. Apart from the book set in Middle-earth, what book have you read that you really enjoyed? I've just dug out the Hannibal books again, as they are fantastic. I also really enjoy the Dan Brown books. Sorry for the long post. Hope that you're both keeping well. And you too, Martin Smith, don't apologise for contributing to Speak Friendly Question. Favourite books?
I like biographies, so I read a lot of musical biographies. I've just read Noel Gallagher's and Ian Brown's back to back. But other than that, I've not read for a while. But yeah, mainly biographies I read.
Yeah.
Like footballers, biographies, Alex Ferguson and stuff.
Those Ferguson's ones are interesting.
Yeah.
Quite quick read as well.
Yeah. I find it hard to stay engaged in fiction books because I don't get a lot of time. I've got 2 young children, you see. So try to get time to read in the house is difficult.
Yeah, I think, yeah. My favourite books are, I love To Kill a Mockingbird. It's a great book. Read that a few times growing up and then had to do it for school, which was a blessing. I love the message in that. I'll tell you what's a really good book. Vengeance is a good book. That is, if anybody's ever seen the movie Munich, it's the book that's based on.
Good film.
Infinitely better than the movie as well. The book is incredibly good, Vengeance. I actually think all the Bourne books are really good. If you get a chance to read them. Completely different to the movies, by the way. But so good. Like really, really good. I loved the first few A Song of Ice and Fire books. I found them really interesting to read. Really enjoyed those. So yeah, that's a few. I've got loads. I love reading. So thank you very much for that, Martin Smith. Oh, no, you've got a double post, so that does bring us to the end of this week's Speak Friendly Question. You look like you've enjoyed yourself, Ben. Look nice and comfy.
Yeah, it's good.
You ready for another brew?
Been ready for another brew for about half an hour.
Brilliant stuff. Well, guys, hope you enjoyed. Make sure, as ever, that you get below and you ask your questions for next week on your favourite Hobbit SBG question and answer show. By the time that the next one comes out, who knows, maybe there'll be more details out there for Ardacon, so do check that out. And make sure you keep on going over to Hotcakes Gaming to go and check out Hobbit Strategy Battle Gaming Battle Reports that I've been producing over there in the Adventures in Arda series. Don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe. Support your Hobbit host by clicking in the links in the video description below. Make sure that you like our Facebook page, you follow us on Twitter, that you support your Hobbit hobby.
Happy Strategy Battle Gaming.
Nailed it.